Have you ever heard someone say, "I don't have time to work out"? You certainly have. After watching this video, you won't have that excuse anymore, because in this video, I'll give you the exact blueprint on how to structure a training program as someone who doesn't have much time on their hands. On top of that, I will even show you some real-life examples so you'll know exactly how to build your own training plan. Keep in mind, this is not the most ideal plan to run, but it is for sure better than doing nothing. So take a piece of a paper and a pen and write this down. Step number 1 is to know exactly what your technique is. This might sound obvious, but many arm wrestlers, especially beginners, don't even know what their technique is. Step number 2 is to write down the most important areas you will need to train for your own technique. Be precise, don't just write down back pressure. What aspect of back pressure do you need exactly? Do you need a hammer motion back pressure? Do you need a dragging motion back pressure? Be very precise. Write down exactly what your most important areas are. Step number 3 is to go down the rabbit hole even deeper and to write down what exact muscles or movements of those areas you will need to train. Let's do an example together so everything is clear. Let's say your technique on the table is the posting top roll. That was step number 1, knowing exactly what your technique is. Step number 2 is to write down the most important areas you will need to train as a posting top roller. So everyone posting top roll is different, but usually you need a very strong hammer curl back pressure, rising strength, and also pronation. This was step number 2. And now comes the most important part. You write down every muscle or movement you need to train for those areas. So for the hammer curl back pressure, you will need a strong brachioradialis muscle. Great, that's the first one. The second one is rising, so you will need to train your riser. The third one is pronation. Here it is very important to differentiate what kind of pronation you really need. For the posting top roll, because on the table you will pronate very high, you will also need an exercise that trains your pronation high. Listen, I know that some of the steps might sound obvious, but it is very important to do all the steps in the given order. Otherwise, you will not know exactly what to train. After you have all these things figured out, you will use the exact same framework to find out what your weaknesses are. When it comes to weaknesses, you will always have more weaknesses than strengths. So it is very important to write down only the most important ones that slow you down on the table. Because you don't have too much time on your hands, 2 weaknesses should be enough. So how do you find what your weaknesses are? Very simple. You watch the latest video of you pulling on the table and see what you lack the most. After that, you follow the exact same framework we covered a moment ago. Let's continue with the posting top roll example. Let's say you see that your side pressure and your ability to finish the matches is what you are lacking, which for most posting top rollers is actually the weakness. So this was step number 1. Step number 2 is what areas you will need to train. In this case, side pressure pec to pec and down pressure. And step number 3 is what exact muscles or movements do you need to train. And because we are talking about side pressure, there is not only one muscle, it is a compound movement. So it is the down pressure and the side pressure pec to pec movement itself. Now let's shortly summarize everything. So you will need to train your brachioradialis, your riser, your high pronation. Your biggest weaknesses are the ability to drag the elbow across the pad and the down pressure. Pro tip here, it doesn't matter what your technique is, you should also train your wrist and fingers as well. So we will include those 2 as well. Now let's move on to the next step, which is exercise selection. For every single one of those areas, you will need one single exercise. And this is the mistake most people make. They have 10 exercises for every muscle. Listen, you don't need it. All you need is one effective exercise that will really target the desired area. And because you have made it so far in such a complex video, let me tell you that I'm working right now on something big, something that I've never seen before in the arm wrestling world. And guess what? You will have the chance to get it completely for free, exactly like the free coaching I'm doing right now with my athletes. So stay tuned. All I can say is that you won't have a problem anymore with the exercise selection. Back to the video, and what we are going to do now is choose one exercise for every single area that we will have to train. These are just some examples, but you could do dumbbell hammer curls for the brachioradialis, rising combined with back pressure for the riser, and high pronation combined with back pressure for high pronation. For the pec-to-pec exercise, you can do the classic, the toe touching side pressure, and for the down pressure, you can do down pressure at the pulley. For the wrist, you can do wrist curls from the side, and for the fingers, the thick barbell lift. So there you go, you have one single exercise for every area that you need to cover in your training. Let's take a look now on how you can combine these areas in your training. So you have 7 areas that you need to cover. Here comes the part where you have to decide how you will train. You could train only one exercise a day. It is that simple. 7 exercises you have for 7 weekdays. Or you could train 2 exercises every 2 days, and on the last day you do 3 exercises. That works fine as well. Because you don't have so much volume, recovery won't be an issue. Just figure out what your time span is and structure the plan the way it fits your needs the best. Now let's run another example which will help you understand the whole process even better. Let's say your technique is side pressure hook. Your most important areas are side pressure and the hand. So the muscles and movements you will have to train are side pressure pec to pec, down pressure, internal rotation, wrist and fingers. We run the same framework for the weaknesses. Most probably your weaknesses are your pronation and your dragging motion. That means the muscles or movements you will have to train are the low pronation, because you are a hooker and you will have to pronate very low and your back combined with the brachioradialis. And the last step is to choose one great exercise for every single one of these areas. You can do the pronated side pressure, down pressure at the pulley with a rolling handle, and internal rotation with the wrist stretch. For the wrist, you can do dumbbell wrist curls in a 45-degree angle, and for the fingers, wrist wrench curls at the pulley. One-sided, just the bottom part, because you are a hooker. For the pronation, you can perform the pronation combined with hammer curls over the forearm. And the last one would be pull-ups for the back and the brachioradialis. Then what you will train on which day is completely your choice. Split it however you think it is best for you. And this is it. I know this was a very strategic video, so for everyone who is still watching right now, congratulations. You really want to achieve something in the sport and you are not watching it just for entertainment. If you ask yourself what you should do when you fix the current weaknesses, very simple. Follow the same process we already covered in the beginning of the video and find out what your new weaknesses are. You will always have something that is weak and needs to be worked on. The moment you don't have any more weaknesses to work on is the moment you beat Levan. So I think that's not the case. So my number one goal with this video is to show you that you can find time to train, even if you have other things going on that are much more important. Because let's take the example where you have 7 exercises. You could do just 1 exercise per day. It takes around 30 minutes, maybe even less. So I think most of you could squeeze this in. And of course, the other goal was to show you exactly how to do it, to give you the exact framework so you can build your own plan. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. And by the way, I'm running a giveaway right now where you have the chance to win 2 professional arm wrestling handles, the wrist wrench and the opti wrench. All you have to do is to go down to the video description and enter it with the link presented. With that being said, keep your eyes on this channel. Great stuff is coming.